Hello and welcome to Grubanny. Today we'll be making some alkaline and vegan pupusas. Let's get started. To all the lovely abuelas out there, if I make a mistake while making this, lo siento. We're starting with the vegan recipe, so the first thing we're going to have to do is make our masa. To a large bowl, you want to add 4 cups of corn masa flour. Next, we're going to add some sea salt. Some people add it, some people don't. But if you're adding it, make sure you add a little more than you think you need. Mix in the salt evenly so you don't get salty spots. To your 4 cups of masa flour, you want to add 2 to 2 1/4 cups of warm water. After adding your warm water, combine and start kneading. I'm not supposed to, but I'll be kneading with some gloves. Something funny is going on with my fingernails today. If your masa feels dry after a couple minutes of kneading, add some water. Your masa should be properly hydrated and properly combined. After kneading for a total of 4 to 5 minutes, you should get something like this. Beautiful. You don't have to, but I'm gonna let it rest for about 10 minutes while I make our salsa. Over here, I have about 5 tomatillos. Tomatillos are used to make green salsa, which is also known as salsa verde. The husks are compostable, so you can peel them off and compost them. They're easy to peel and they actually feel like paper. After peeling your tomatillo, you want to make sure you wash it thoroughly and then you can compost the husk. It's typical to eat pupusas with salsa roja, which is the red salsa, but today I'll be using salsa verde, the green one. Over here, we have 2 large jalapenos. Take the stalks off. It's funny because I used to call these jalapenos. I know I'm not the only one. If you're also guilty, let me know in the comment section. The next ingredient is a medium-sized white onion. Cut it in half. Cut the bottom ends off of 3 garlic cloves and let's head to the stove. Place a cast iron pan on medium-high heat and throw in your onion and garlic. Also throw in your jalapenos and your tomatillos. Our goal here is to get some really dark charring so you can press down with a pair of tongs or a spatula. There's no set time here, so the amount of charring you need is up to you. This right here is how I like it, but you could go darker or lighter. Flip everything over so they're charred on both sides. If you like cooked salsa, you can blanch these for a bit before moving on to the next step. Once you're satisfied, take them off the stove. Oh, and don't forget your jalapenos too. I'm just joking. Alright, let's move on to the next step. The next step is to blend these up. Add everything to your food processor. Just so you know, I like my salsa really chunky. This is not typical, but I'll be adding 1 to 2 tablespoons of coconut aminos. Next, I'm going to add some sea salt. Process for a couple seconds. Next, I'm going to add a bunch of cilantro with the stalks. You don't have to add the stalks. If you're alkaline, skip the jalapenos. Next, I'll be squeezing in the juice of 2 key limes. Slice open and squeeze them in. You can use as many as you want. Once you're done, process again. Once you're done processing, you can add your salsa verde to a bowl. If you want it smoother, you can use a blender. Next, we're going to make our refried beans. Cook some red beans and add your beans to a bowl. You can use any beans you like. Your beans should be unsalted. We're going to be using some annatto oil to make our refried beans. If you haven't seen my video, click on the link above. To a pan set to medium heat, add a tablespoon or 2 of annatto oil, then add some chopped onions. Saute until fragrant. Add your beans to the pan with some of the water. Make sure you save some water too. Add some sea salt to taste, then mix. this stage, you can add any other ingredients you want. Let it cook for about 5 minutes, then you can add a touch of your cooked beans water. Next, you can go ahead and mash the beans to your desired consistency. Note that there are several ways to make this. Just like every other thing in this recipe, I like my beans chunky. Once you're done mashing, add it to a container and set it aside. While cooking, if you want to, you can add some cheese. We'll take a quick break, and when we get back, I'll show you how to make your alkaline masa replacement. Welcome back. To make the alkaline masa replacement, we're going to add about 4 cups of einkorn flour to a bowl. To the flour, you want to add some sea salt and mix. Add 1.5 cups of water to your flour. You can adjust as needed. Add about 5 tablespoons of avocado oil and start kneading. By the way, these clips are older, and that's why you can see me using my bare hands. Once your dough comes together, place it on a generously floured working surface. Knead for a total of 10 minutes. After kneading, add some oil to your palms and form your dough into a ball. Your dough will be very sticky, so the oil will stop it from sticking too much. Cover and let it rest for about 20 minutes while we go back to our vegan masa. Your masa should be soft and easily moldable. Grab a handful of masa that's about the size of a baseball or larger. What you want to do is start rolling it like a ball by tossing it from palm to palm while rotating it. The next step is to flatten it, but before we do that, you want to dip your hands in some avocado oil and rub it all over your palms. Now we're going to toss it from palm to palm while gently slapping the sides to flatten it. Once your masa is flat enough, you want to place it in your palm, then lightly make a cup with your hand. Now using the tip of your fingers, you want to make a depression in the middle while rotating it. Once you're done, you can start adding all of your fillings. I'll be starting with 1 massive tablespoon of my refried beans. Add 1 tablespoon of your beans to the middle of the masa. Don't be like me, you don't want to fill it up too much so you don't end up with a huge pupusa. Next, you can add your choice of vegan meat replacement. Today I'll be using my new ground beef replacement. If you want the recipe, click on the link above. Now if you don't want to use this recipe, you can also use my alkaline bulgogi recipe. Anyway, add about 1 tablespoon of my ground beef replacement over the top of your beans. This is optional and I personally don't eat this, but if you want to, you can add a handful of plant-based cheese. Once you're done adding your cheese, you have to seal it up by slowly lifting up the sides and gently pinching it together. Gently work your way around until everything is tucked in and the top of the masa can come together. Pinch the top together to form a tower while rotating the bottom to form a ball. Once you're done, pinch off the top. After pinching off the top, you want to gently form a ball and repeat the slapping motion until you flatten it. Unlike flour, your masa will be delicate, so you want to be gentle with this step. Once you're done, it should look something like this, or it could go flatter. If you have a tear, all you have to do is pinch off a little masa, flatten it, and seal it up. Once it's sealed, continue the slapping motion until it's flat enough. Alright, let's do it one more time for the people in the back who are checking their emails. Grab a handful of masa and form a ball. Add some oil to your palms and flatten it using the slapping motion. Once it's flat enough, make a depression in the middle. Add a tablespoon of beans. Add about a tablespoon of ground beef replacement. Add some plant-based cheese. Gently seal it up while doing your best to avoid tears. If you get tears, patch it up. Again, you don't need gloves to do this. I have them on for personal reasons. Once it's sealed up, pinch off the top and make a ball. Now you can begin to flatten it. You want it as evenly flat as possible. I was very greedy with my fillings, so you can't go any flatter. But anyway, this is what you want. Place it on an oiled parchment paper and let's make our alkaline refried beans. Cook some chickpeas, set them aside and save the water. If you want to learn how to cook chickpeas from scratch, click on the link above. People living the alkaline lifestyle don't eat canned food. To a pan set to medium heat, you're going to add a tablespoon or 2 of annatto oil. Once your oil is hot, add your onions and I'll be right back. Welcome back. Saute your onions until translucent. Once that's done, you can go ahead and add your cooked chickpeas. Add some sea salt to taste and mix. At this point, you can add any other ingredients you need. Now let it cook for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, add some chickpea water. Mash it to your desired consistency and adjust the thickness by adding some more chickpea water. Once you're done, take it off the stove and add it to a bowl. Now we can assemble our alkaline pupusas. The einkorn dough is rested and it feels totally different from our masa because it's made out of wheat flour. For those who don't know, einkorn is one of the original wheats. To begin, tear off a baseball-sized dough and form a ball. This dough is way tougher than our corn masa, so you don't have to handle it with too much caution. A faster way to flatten it is to place your ball in between 2 parchment papers and roll. There you go. Peel it off, make a depression in the middle and fill. Since this is an alkaline version, we're going to start with 1 tablespoon of refried chickpeas. Place it in the middle and gently flatten. Add 1 tablespoon of your ground beef replacement and seal. Sealing this is way easier because it feels more like a dough than masa. You can add some thick seasoned Brazil nut cheese if you want. Once sealed, twist the tip and pinch off. Now we're going to flatten it. This can take a lot of pressure, so you can slap it almost as hard as you want. Again, abuelas, lo siento for this travesty, but alkaline vegans gotta eat. Remember, if you get any tears, pinch off a piece of dough and seal it up. Then go ahead and repeat the slapping or clapping motion. Vegans, if you don't eat corn, you can use this dough as well. If you don't eat or can't find any of the flours I used, go ahead and make small batches using other flours. If it works, you're good to go. Once we're done, we can go ahead and make our pupusas. To cook your pupusas, add about a teaspoon or less of avocado oil to a cast iron pan set to medium-low heat. Then use a brush to spread the oil around the pan. We're starting with the vegan pupusas. Carefully grab a corn pupusa and gently lower it into the middle of the pan. After 3 to 4 minutes, give it a flip. Cook for another 3 to 4 minutes or until golden brown. Once it's done, take it off the stove and set it aside. Repeat the process until you're done. Now let's make the alkaline version. Same thing, add a teaspoon of avocado oil to a pan set to medium-low heat, then place your alkaline pupusa in the middle. After 3 to 4 minutes, you start to see this discoloration forming at the edges, then you know it's time to flip. After flipping, cook for another 3 to 5 minutes and then you're done. You can make an actual curtido or you can use my fennel salad. I'm also going to serve some of my salsa verde in a smaller bowl. Remember, you can also make salsa roja using natural tomatoes. Add some pickled onions. If you want this recipe, click on the link above. Throw in some key lime halves and you're done. So this looks like a really long process because I made a lot of it, but it's really not that difficult. Now let's tear it open and see what it looks like. This is one of the vegan variations I made without cheese, so don't expect a cheese pool. Let's tear open the alkaline version, and if you're from El Salvador, I apologize in advance. I know there's a certain way to eat this and I respect that, But if you're in your kitchen, you can go ahead and do whatever you want. If you want to, you can stack 5 of them, unhinge your jaw and bite into it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know my pupusas are thick, but you can make yours thinner. El Salvadorians, thank you for this wonderful dish. Everyone else, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next week.